Hello, everybody. Oh, Davide, that's your part. Sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Hello. Welcome to another Fireside Chat from the European Cardano community.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hey.
welcome.
Nice to meet you guys. Hey.
Hey, Nabil.
Hi, everyone.
Quasar.
Hi, Quasar. Hi,
Quasar.
Nebu.
Hey, Adriano.
Hey guys.
Hello, Adriano.
Hey, Nebu.
Hello, Marcus.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
Hello, Cardano
Good
Link.
evening.
What a start.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus, welcome. Martin.
How are you? It's been a while. So, with that clap, it starts a new Fireside Chat with the European Cardano community. A great space to chit-chat a little bit with the main projects or different projects in the Cardano ecosystem to know a little bit what's happening. And we are working in this design, so maybe will change in the future. So as always, it has been since once years ago that we start. He's the old mantra, the mantra that use of Callis, but because the first sentence is in Italian, as always, Davide, please give us the honors.
Benvenuti all'esperimento.
I think
Le
Marcus
choses
printed the
suivantes.
best
I
one.
was waiting for Boaz.
I would say the Portuguese, quebrar.
Fehlende Dokumentation.
Disorient.
Let's go,
overnight.
Quasar. Do you speak English better than everyone?
Yeah.
Quasar.
Do you want to
You're
unmute
muted.
yourself?
You are mute. I think.
Yes.
We are at differ.
Differ greatly between
differ greatly between iterations.
and the other one.
Disorient, overload, and inspire.
Very good.
And remember, our goal is provide a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential of. And Adriano, I see that you are connecting, so say the last word in Spanish.
Nuestro objetivo es proveer un ambiente seguro y vivo
De la
para
colaboración.
explorar el más alto potencial de la colaboración humana.
Perfecto, well done. It's always a huge mess to read this mantra. That's why we love it so much, because you never know who will be connected and who is speaking which language. So that's the deal. That's what is so fun. And we have our own mantra. After all the work that we do, we learn some things in this path, and we try to put it all in this slide that we play in all our Fireside Chat or town hall or activities, just to try to share the knowledge. So who wants to read it? Name
I
you.
would say, yeah, that's Nibayo. He has to do this because
Okay,
you missed
let
him.
me try this. Keep your notes up to date. Try to study or learn something new every day. Support and connect with community members for synergy and goals. Be inclusive, friendly, and wise with words, even in anger. Share information without destroying dreams, people, or their reputation. This is very nice.
Outstanding, Nebu. And first thing first, as it say, try to study or learn something new every day. Some news, please, if anyone can, go to the Input Output X account and hear the space about midnight. There's more news about midnight, more information about what is it, why midnight. So super excited to be part of this and see what IO is building and what will be midnight and how will change the rules in the ecosystem. So remember that we love Twitter Spaces and X Spaces, or if you want to make a joke, X Twitter Spaces. So in different language, So if you want to host a space in any language, just ask someone from the team. Indeed, we are working on a system of rewards for hosts in different language. So if you want to be part of this test of rewarding and host a Twitter space in the European Cardano community account in co-host with your personal account, let's go. And remember, it's always great to make a reputation in the ecosystem. So our guests today are
I'm
Iagon.
so grateful that Navjit has joined us today from Iagon. He's on a travel and on a tight schedule, and really, really appreciate you taking the time being here again. Tell us what you're up about currently, and yeah, big changes happening at the moment.
Hey guys, everyone. Nice to be here again. Second time here. Nice to meet all the new faces as well, and glad to share our updates on Iagon. I'm actually on the road, so it was kind of a last minute kind of trip. I haven't traveled in a while, so I needed to get some kind of break. It's called Høstferie here in Norway, which is like an autumn break. Norway, there's a lot of breaks, and they're, unfortunately for me, this is like one that I took in a long time. So I'm with the family. The family's inside in the restaurant, and they're eating. So I have the time alone in the car, talking to you guys. I'm on the way down to Kristiansand, which is down south in Norway. It's like a 6-hour drive. One of my friends is down there, so we're gonna meet up there and just relax for the weekend, come back on Sunday. But yeah, so I'm here just to share updates and then where we're at with Iagon.
Perfect.
Great.
Take it away.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it away. I didn't know we were getting into this so soon. Sure, no worries. I didn't have a presentation for you guys this time around, so I didn't have any slides with me, but it's, sometimes it's better just to communicate openly and talk and get some kind of conversation going, I guess. So everyone's excited about the midnight kind of announcement. We've been looking at it closely as well because it kind of relates to kind of what we're doing on for our service, in terms of privacy, compliance, and security about data records. So we're kind of glad to hear that, the bigger players are doing something similar along the lines and, working towards the same goal in a sense. So we would like to actually, right now, in terms of the updates, we are in the middle of our audits. We are doing our staking audit and our subscription audit. So it's staking is going to come soon, which is going to be self-custody staking. It's not going to be liquid because of the fact that there's some security issues when you're staking as a node. So that's the only kind of thing we contemplated liquid staking, but the problem there is that if the market goes up and down, that could really affect the staking for nodes. So when the nodes are at stake, so we don't have to implement that. We are going to be attending Cardano Summit in November. We will share some updates there in Dubai and where we're at in terms of the progress. We just got our audit back for our multi-sig, which we're going to be releasing with Iagon. So we're building a lot of dApps on top of the storage infrastructure. So if anyone that doesn't know about Iagon is like an Airbnb for storage and compute. So we're connecting idle capacities with end users that need the capacities. And we do it in a different way than a lot of the different players. What we do is we do a compliance in a box. So if you're an entrepreneur, or let's say as a single entity or even a large entity or SME, you can comply with one-click button, meaning that you can comply with data regulations and you can be private at the same time, secure at the same time. So we do it in a different way in terms of decentralized and centralized services where we're able to comply with a one-click button and also take the advantages of the decentralized space. And that's where we think it's lacking, and that's where I think Charles agrees with me, where blockchain is lacking in terms of adoption is that there's not a regulated, let's say not regulated, maybe that's the kind of a scary word to use, but let's say let's say something that's can be adopted by Web2 companies, right? Something that they're familiar with, something that they can kind of say, oh, one-click compliance, that's really advantageous for me. Let me see what that's about, right? So, and we're building dApps on top of this infrastructure, like I talked about, the multi-sig and other dApps that we're building on top of it to create use cases. So something similar to what Midnight will be probably doing in terms of building dApps on top of their privacy protocol. We're going to be building dApps to cater to the adoption. These dApps include multi-sig, accounting, anything that's related to Web3 that might be useful, but also for the Web2 space as well. So like multimedia dApps like mail, encrypted messaging, docs, things like that will be helpful for use cases, not only for the Web3, but for the Web2 community. And we're able to decrease prices by a lot. We had a subscription manager is almost finalized. Pricing is actually finalized. We're able to offer about $2.11 per terabyte, which is much lower than the centralized players. And it's actually considered actually maybe the third cheapest storage solution in the world, I would say, in terms of pricing. And it gives it advantages in terms of compliance as well. So we're adding features on top of that, and those features, of course, will have some extra costs. How we incentivize the resource providers is with IIG tokens, and that's what's coming up, and that's the staking and staking mechanism that's coming up. As a resource provider, you need to stake some IIG tokens to provide resources to the network. That's where we're currently at in terms of implementing the staking and the subscription manager, where you'll be able to subscribe to different subscriptions. And that contract is going to be on Web3 style, but we don't want to cater. We also want to cater to Web2, as previously said. So we are going to have a Web2 gateway later on, which you'll be able to sign through emails and things like, with all the kind of the advantages of Web3 in terms of sharding, encryption, and making sure the privacy is there as well. That's a little summary on what we're doing right now and what we're catering to. And next year, we're going to be concentrating on decentralized compute. Also, next month, we will be releasing the first version of decentralized web hosting, which will also be a dApp built on the infrastructure. So now you are able to kind of cater to web hosting, which isn't, let's say, censored, and which provides a little bit more security as well and privacy for users that are using it. Yeah, that's a bit summary. I don't want to go too long, but I definitely want to have a conversation with you guys. I think that's more important. I think there are a lot of people that are familiar with the project already, but I'd love to have a conversation around it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. There's two questions that I have on my mind, but I let Mauro and David start.
For sure. Well, you mentioned a lot Midnight, and it was a new in the recent date that the Iagon team applied for Midnight Network testnet. Can you explain for those who are hearing us, what does it mean? What this is important?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, right? So initially, when we applied we actually been trying to contact Midnight since March this year. So we've been trying to get a hold of them for a while. Finally, they had the applications open. So I think it's important to understand, first of all, because I think it's still very vague in terms of the direction that they're building. And it's important as a team, as Iagon wants to know which direction they're building towards. So if they are building towards catering to dApps specifically, like us, like Iagon, that has different features and things like that, we want to be part of that network early, because we think that that's privacy, compliance, and security. It directly relates to what we're doing. So we want to make sure that we are working with familiar projects or collaborate with familiar projects as well. So what it means is that we want to be part of that collaboration if possible, and we want to be there at the early stage if possible, right? And if we find out, like, okay, they're doing something similar when we're in the DevNet, we don't know exactly what they're planning on doing. That's something else we can take, but there are some similarities in terms of the direction that they're taking, which I had some questions for Charles, but I don't know if I got the clear answers for him yet. Maybe I'll ask him in Dubai if I meet him up. But basically, my question was, I think they are building this Hermes, if you guys heard of it, infrastructure on, they propose in Catalyst. Hermes is the infrastructure layer, but they didn't have any incentives for Hermes. So for storage providers and things like that. So what my thinking is that Midnight might be an incentive layer for projects like Hermes, infrastructure layers, and things like that. So if Iagon could be part of that infrastructure layer, that'd be great, you know.
Wonderful. David.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions actually. The first one, I hope I'm not being rude, but you say that you want to expand your services to decentralized computing as well. What is the main difference between your proposals and what the NewNet is trying to do?
Yeah, so NewNet, we've looked briefly into NewNet in terms of what they're trying to do. The differentiator, the biggest differentiator between us and the competitors. So we did a different route than a lot of companies in the blockchain side. So we actually filed for a patent in 2018 for our kind of, it's I guess against the open source grain, but we wanted to protect our time and effort and the money that we put in, because we put a lot of our own personal money into the project and a lot of time and effort that we haven't really asked for any money back, right? So we wanted to first of all make sure that we protect that, and we wanted to do it because there's a lot of copycats out there, and I've said it before. It sometimes doesn't really depend on the innovation that you work on. Sometimes it just depends on the funding you get, right? If you get a lot of funding, you have a much higher chance to succeed as a project, right? So this is the first kind of right we took. The patent is based around basically the marketplace of compute and storage, but it's smart autonomous kind of allocation of these tasks and shards. So what I mean by that is we're learning the behavior of each resource provider in different variables. So if you're a resource provider providing storage or compute, we're learning variables like performance, availability, trustability, different metrics that are important to the end user, including location, for example. And this allows us to be compliance in a box, because we can take the shards of the data or tasks on the compute side and allocate that specifically to EU resource providers, which is GDPR in a sense where, you know, data is not transferred outside of EU. And that's kind of the premise that we're built on. So that's a differentiator between all the kind of compute and let's say storage protocols in the space, in the Web3 space.
Perfect. No, the second question actually was nothing special. I already spoke with you on X time ago about the fact that I'm building a game and I need a service running on a virtual machine, and I was wondering if you were about to provide some kind of services like a real-time API, something like Firebase is doing, but in a more decentralized version. That would be amazing for me and for many other projects to migrate on.
Yeah. I mean, the APIs are ready for testing already. So are you in the test net by any chance, David?
Not yet, but I'm really interested to join it.
Yeah. So we as we're going, there will be an API for developers that they can just plug and play, and there will be an available. So we want to make it easy for developers and for, you know, other kind of let's say users and developers. So we want to make it easy as possible, right? So yes, it will be available.
Perfect. That was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
I would have a question regarding your plans for
second.
interoperability. Sorry, Marcus, I think I jumped.
Skipping the queue. Do it.
Sorry about that.
Good.
But
Good.
yeah, we can put the question to the backlog. But yeah, interoperability would be something that I'm curious about.
Yeah. Do you mean in terms of other blockchains?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So we are going to be working towards that end. First, we're going to focus on Cardano. The token will never be interoperable. We want to have that token on Cardano. The reason why is the security aspects and things like that. So everything Web3 on that side will be allocated to to Cardano itself. We already had a bad experience with bridging and stuff like that. There's too many security issues with bridges and stuff like that. So we don't want to go in that route. But in terms of interoperability, in terms of providing services to other blockchains, yes, this is something that's our long-term vision. For sure, this will be part of the plans.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. That was great because it was taking off one of the questions of my list. That's great. Thank you. Is the storage that you're currently offering, for those who don't know, is it permanent? Because with IPFS, you don't know if it's going to be there forever. What is your plan on this?
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
Is your storage being permanent?
Yeah, permanent storage. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have both sides. So because we have the EU data regulations, you're gonna have you have as an individual right to delete your data. Okay, right to ask the providers to delete your data. So for IPFS, you cannot do that. There's no way you can guarantee the deletion of data, and that means that IPFS is not data compliant in terms of data regulations, different data regulations, especially GDPR, which is one of the most stringent data regulations in the world, and it sets a good benchmark. So we will have both this availability and permanent storage for projects like that need to have pinning, for example, NFT projects, things like that, they need to showcase that this will be there forever. So NFTs, for example, you can have just available for a short time, 1 year, and then you need to pay. You pay up front forever kind of permanent storage, and that will also be available as a service. Yes.
Wonderful. That's great. You answered the other question as well with Davide, with the API. That's awesome. So the last one is, or the second last one is, what would a project have to do, like Rookies of Davide or GameChanger or Endubis, if they want to work with you? How do they get in touch?
We're always here open. We love collaborating with projects. Honestly, I think it's the most important thing, and I think that's what we love about Cardano. It's such a great community in terms of collaboration. Everyone loves working each other, and they're quick to help. We've seen that not just in the GitHub repos, but in practicality, talking to people, always positive in terms of collaboration. So we've put up even some issues with for example, mesh. We put them on GitHub and said, okay, there's an issue here, quick fixes, and people are very active when they're collaborating. So we are definitely we're always there. So if you just reach out to one of the members on Discord, Telegram, email, we're happy to collaborate and get, especially on early, because I think that drives the direction that we want to build, and maybe the other projects wants to build, because then we create a use case and adoption right there and then, right?
So it doesn't matter the stage, basically, from the idea stage, checking back with you, would this make sense or not? So my final question on this is, we're trying to help founders in the space. What would be your 3 words of wisdom for founders? Oh,
yeah. So some advice, you mean?
Yeah.
Advice.
Yeah. Now you're gone.
Yeah. I mean, this space is definitely not the same. So I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to be both in the web space, but Web 2 space as an entrepreneur, and a Web 3 space, and I've unfortunately been successful in my Web 2 ventures as well. So I had a experience in both two sides in terms of how to develop a company. Of course, Iagon's still not there in terms of success, where I wanted to, why I deem it to be successful. I'm always hungry to obviously drive a business forward. So I can definitely give some adoptions in terms of my success stories in the Web 2. You always have to adapt and overcome. I wrote this and I wrote this message, actually, great question, because I think it was a La Petite that asked me a question from Twitter that, is there any advice that you would give to other founders and entrepreneurs? So adapt and overcome. Like, you know, as a tree, you have to bend with the wind, avoid breaking. So too much, there's too much the startup can willing to adapt and make. There's so much you can do. So you have to be able to adapt and willing to change your strategy and approach according to market conditions and feedback that people are giving you. You can't be too rigid. If you're too rigid, then you kind of just go in a direction without taking in the feedback and being flexible. So always take in any feedback that anyone gives you and understand why they're giving you that feedback, and mold your kind of vision and your direction in that way. Obviously, you can't do it for everyone, but you know, if you have multiple feedbacks that are similar, you should take that into consideration. You know, people first. Every tech startup at its core is about people. So just surround yourself with people that complement you, have the same vision, invest in relationships, be it with your team, your customers, or your partners. You should always invest in people. People are the most important part of any company. So it doesn't matter Web 2, Web 3. That's the most important thing I think that people should look at and entrepreneurs should look at. Don't always look for the perfect plans. Sometimes you have to make, like, you know, these big moves and or don't always try to strategize and plan perfectly. Of course, organization is part of it, but you know, always look for bold moves, right? And if you can make those bold moves, organize them in the way that makes sense, you know. Failure is a stepping stone. So not failure, I would say. Like, I guess if you
Learning.
do something wrong, that's a stepping stone. It shouldn't. You know, it's the opposite of success. Isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it, right? Any success, there's failures in between, right? So, especially in Web3, there's going to be a lot. So there's always some issues, you know, be it a token like a bridge hack or whatever it is. You consider it. There's setbacks that you always face. So you shouldn't be like fearful of it. You should kind of tackle it and learn from it, iterate, and come back stronger. You know, lastly, I would say that Web3 world is, you know, moving quickly. So you have to just make sure you take whatever you have, take the chances, and grab it, you know, by the throat.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very good and very inspiring. Adriano, and then I think we move on.
Marcos, thanks, Navid. Those words are very, very useful for a lot of us here. And congratulations for all the achievements and what you're doing, guys, with Iagon. Very quick. Please try to stay until we present, because not only we have something that has something in common with you guys. I don't know if you have heard about it. It's GCFS. It's an on-chain file system. Of course, we're talking different things, but it's kind of the same. Regarding the utility is kind of the same, and this is why I am asking. Let's get in touch, because probably there is some place in between to collaborate between the projects, especially regarding building the apps.
Yes, definitely. I'm open all the time, Adriano. I'd love to connect with you after the call. And when I'm in Christiansand, I'll definitely, you know, email me, or Marcus has my contact information. You know, we can get in touch with Discord or whatever you like. Definitely, I'm open to that. Thank you.
I'm just as a side note, Navjit is taking the time from his family at the moment, so don't be stressed out if you can't stay until the end, because he was so kind to interrupt his dinner basically for us, and he's on a trip, but we have recorded it on YouTube so he can rewatch it, and I'll make sure to share it with him. Okay.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for being here. Have a good time.
Very good. So we are very glad and pleased, second time in this week, to interact with Adriano, the founder of the GameChanger Wallet, and we were doing very insightful reviews and testing together with him, setting up our multisig, which yeah, is still in progress, but we have a very good feeling about it. And yeah, stage is yours, Adriano. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time. Really excited also for this collaboration between different time zones and regions. So I understand you live in Argentina. Maybe before we talk about the project, tell us a bit more about you as a person. So who is Adriano?
Okay, thanks guys for inviting, and thanks my team here for joining as well. My name is Adriano Fiorenza. I'm from Argentina. I've been developing my own projects since I was very little. I came from the Web2 world, from starting on Argentina, a startup that it was a fintech startup. It was kind of like a wallet. And at the same time, it was a very specific application that used that wallet, but it was an open wallet. You could have been, building applications to it. Learning from all that experience, and yeah, willing to leave Web2, I finally have the chance to dedicate 24, not 24, but full time to Cardano. And this was back in 2021. There was no other community wallets back then, and I really didn't want to build on backends. I have like a problem with that. I like Web3 on our browsers, not on backends. So instead of using this famous tool called Cardano CLI, those who knows, I said, no, not enough. I will build a wallet that will allow people to build 100% on browser-side applications for Cardano. That happened in 2021. I guess it was two weeks after NAMI appeared. I had the luck to launch GameChanger version 1. I cannot lie, it has been a difficult road. Cardano changes a lot, it evolves a lot, and yeah, sometimes without funding, it's difficult to innovate. Without enough funding, I would say. So this is why partnerships was a very important aspect of GameChanger. And this is why, for example, we have here Quasar, and we have Martin Menier on this call. Quasar, regarding community, he has been awesome, helping, reaching people and projects. And Martin, well, not just building stuff. Maybe he can talk a bit later about some news and some things that he built. But basically, even now, he's working and helping with the backend side. And since the beginning, since 2021, Dandelion APIs has been a critical piece of this whole stack that makes the wallet possible. It's a decentralized, or I would say willing to be decentralized, a distributed Cardano APIs servers or nodes. It's a network of nodes that is run by the community, by Roberto Morano, that is a friend, and he is a co-founder of Gimbalance. So this is the story behind who we are. Basically, I am the builder, the developer of the wallet. I've received some collaborations on some tasks that we have to do, but basically I am the builder of the wallet. And for example, Martin Menier, he understood the model behind GameChanger super quickly, super early, and he built his first DApp, a hardware device. So this is all about what GameChanger is. But I mean, the name is, I know I don't want to to super sell it because this name is like, oh, it's too much. But to be honest, we try hard. We try hard to offer a strong alternative to a lot of technologies that we have here in the space. Starting by some design principles behind wallets, starting also with the app connector technology. For example, our app connector technology since 2021 allows these crazy use cases like building hardware that behaves like a DApp and connects to Cardano, to our wallets, to GameChanger Wallet. So also the design allow us to have the same wallet on mobile and desktop, and maybe even on embedded browsers, like for example another hardware device that Martin Lanier built with my collaboration regarding the wallet support. That there are Cardano public terminals, like a public wallet that embeds the wallet. This is why GameChanger Wallet is a bit graphical regarding the assets and some stuff. It's presented like colored cards. I can try to share a bit screen if I may.
Yes.
Thank you.
One question I would have, Adriano. People are, of course, always very, let's say, careful when picking their wallet, in the sense of the security, especially when dealing with seed phrases. Now we have heard so many stories, and you read it every time in the press, hacks, etc. So maybe you could spend a bit of time explaining why people should trust GameChanger. I just can share a small experience from my side. I was very happy to see that in the beta, in the version 2, you can connect directly to another wallet that you have in your browser, for example, Eternal or Nami or any other, not any other, but a lot. And then you don't have to input any seed phrase. You get rerouted and you sign basically, and this builds the connection. But maybe you can explain it a bit more broadly. So what are your security mechanisms?
Thank you, Ricardo. That was a very important question. So what you have said, that's so. We on the version 2, I want to make an emphasis here. We have just launched the mainnet version of the version 2 of the wallet that is on beta stage. Okay, just be careful when trying, because some stuff can change in time or break a bit. But we passed 6 months of development on testnet prior to this event. So Ricardo, what you have said, it's true. We now handle a lot of different wallet types. We had some former wallet types of our own, as well as the common seed phrase that we call mnemonic wallet. And we have now support for importing or connecting to a lot of different wallet types. In this case, for example, what you have just mentioned, I've imported here a Nami. As you can see, this is the Nami wallet, and here I have Nami, and you can check that the same balance. Of course, it's presented a bit different because of the locked UTXOs, but it's the same balance with the same assets here. Okay, you can see that you can import your browser extension wallets, as well as you can import your seed phrases as a mnemonic wallet. You can use it's like an intermediate stage regarding security. A QR code encrypted wallet that can be for personal use or for public. We call these wallets gift wallets. So QR code encrypted wallets. Those are password protected, And I mean, you can build this, generate these QR code wallets, for example, being offline. So you input on your computer your seed phrase while you're offline to generate an encrypted QR code wallet, and then you maybe can present, import, print this QR code or use it on another device to just present it to import your wallet, put the password, and never again you can remove the wallet data out from your devices. Or you can onboard a lot of people on events with this kind of wallets, but presented in a gift modality, in a gift mode. Then, of course, you have Trezor and Ledger devices, like here. And, well, and for example, if I switch to Trezor, for example, here, I have some other browser extension wallets that I've not set up yet, but if you click on connect, for example, you can see that you can choose any other wallet. I have imported the one here on Nami, but you can import Eternal and Flint. And Ricardo, the most important answer to your question relies on something very important that GameChanger has now on the version 2. That is the ability of having this thing called workspaces. We know, for example, from Eternal, that you can have accounts, several accounts on Cardano, right? Okay, so this concept is almost the same, but you can add much more information on these spaces, on these configurations on these setups that you can have on your wallet, and you can isolate these different setups. You can name your addresses, you can name your keys, you can do a lot of other stuff. You can have native scripts, Bluetooth scripts on these workspaces, allowing us to have an entire new way of dealing with our own wallets. It's like building our dream wallet and have different kind of wallet setups just to go and use just what we need. Okay, so for example, here on this workspace, we have literally the capacity of having anonymous multi-delegation address. So addresses that has nothing in common with each other, that has different credentials, staking credentials, for example. So you can do multi-delegation between, for example, all these addresses. Each of these addresses can be delegated to a different pool, and it has names. You can put names to the addresses. But wrapping up, the most important answer to your question, Ricardo, is multi-sig. These workspaces allows you to build, to create multi-sig addresses natively on the wallet. What this means for the average user, the typical end user, is that maybe they can build a very simple, set up a very simple multi-sig address between a mnemonic, for example, wallet on their phones and a mnemonic wallet, for example, on the browser. So then you can increase, for example, the security for browser users by having multi-sig. Then you can, for example, apply the missing signatures by phone. Of course, we are working UX. You guys has a first experience with the UX of the wallet. There is so much to offer that it's a bit, we have to improve a bit the UX. But beta is here, version 2 is here, it's on mainnet. Please, we are open to feedback, and yeah, that's with that explanation. I told a lot of news. Thanks, Ricardo.
Great, thank you. I'm sure we have some questions from the audience. Yeah, Marcus.
Hey, so from what I understand, this could be I know you say it's a wallet for developers because it's not like super easy for people who have no development experience at the moment. But if I would tell somebody, GameChanger is a wallet for developers and projects that could create a wiki to paste their scripts in there so that their users could use the scripts within GameChanger Wallet. Would that be a right description? Would that be a use case?
Thanks,
To
Marcus.
interact with their protocols? Sorry.
Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, GameChanger since 2021 has had an integrated development environment, meaning, in other words, developers and students can learn and code on Cardano here, right in their wallets. So what you're saying, Marcus, yes, it's possible. I don't want to say that GameChanger is just for developers, because actually you can see this by yourselves. I mean, for example, if I want to send some stuff, some assets, you just pick cards, colored cards, and you click next. It's very graphical. We're used to put numbers and just read lines of weird things, but here you have colored cards. I mean, there is an approach. Here you have an NFT creator. You can mint self-sovereign NFTs or collections of NFTs here. I wouldn't say that this wallet is just for developers.
No, I didn't. But it's something that developers and projects can work on instead of creating their super own solution, because it is obviously a huge undertaking to create a wallet.
Marcus, yeah, I mean, you are right. Thank you, and yes, this is true. On the other side, end users can use it, but on the other side, this wallet has been since day zero a wallet for developers as well, because it burned very closely to Gimbals since the beginning without their feedback. I built this version 2 that finally has all that feedback from builders, from students, materialized into the wallet. And very quickly, I think I don't have enough time to tell the whole story, but the magic
You just come again.
Yes, if you invite me, guys. Okay, so very quickly, the magic is on the DApp connector. This is the difference between the standard that all the other wallets use and GameChanger. I won't get too much into details, but it has to do with the amount of work and the requirements, the dependencies that a developer needs to access Cardano, to build on Cardano. This color, this blue color, means the amount of effort and code, lines of code that a developer needs to materialize, to build a DApp on Cardano. A DApp, an application that interacts with Cardano. As you can see, a lot of code has to be implemented or called by dependencies, by SDKs, by building from scratch for the apps to interact with Cardano. And common wallets using this standard just offer a tiny application interface, tiny functions to solve tiny things like sign me this transaction, sign this message. On the other side, this is a DApp on GameChanger, or this is a device connecting to GameChanger. And I'm not lying, or this is a human connecting or interacting with GameChanger. Why? By just knowing a bit of JSON, for those who knows a bit of JSON, and this JSON gets packed into URLs, you can interact with the wallet. Meaning that even if you're a human, you're scanning a QR code that translates into a URL, you can connect to the wallet in the middle of the street. This is the magic behind Martin Menier's devices, that he is here, he can then show or talk a bit about it. But this is true, this is how the wallet works. And very quickly, won't take too much time, let me check. This is the documentation on GitHub. We have more than 66 tiny DApp examples to start learning this JSON-based scripting DSL that turns out to be the DApp connector of the wallet. And here you have a lot of examples. For example, very quickly, this DApp will require the user to pay 1 ADA. Okay, and this is the code. Check the amount of lines. I'm not lying. And there are a lot of text here explaining stuff, but if we remove it, the code is very tiny. With this thing, you are interacting with Cardano without SDKs, without external libraries. And this allows you to connect from very weird and complicated environments where you don't have, for example, JavaScript. For example, I guess we have not tried yet that for game engines, for devices, for buying stuff on the street. This is the link. I mean, this code gets packed into a link, into a URL. And this is the URL encoded as secure code. So if you scan this, you're connecting to the wallet. And you will be facing, for example, this is an application that it's auto-generated by the same wallet. The wallet auto-generates these tiny, quick boilerplates applications just to go on and start building, start working on this code and start building something. So this is the same code with the DApp, with an HTML DApp that has it embedded inside. If I click
It's amazing.
connect,
So if I start a
quickly.
project today, I go on your GitHub, copy paste your code into GameChanger, and I have a payment infrastructure basically that says, okay, go fund me. Awesome.
Yes,
Really cool.
Yes, that's it. This is the DApp connector. I won't follow the entire flow, but this is the idea behind GameChanger, right? To democratize access to Cardano. I started the wallet when there was no other tooling, and this is why the wallet is how it is. It's thought for builders and for entrepreneurs, for SPOs, for DAOs, for people that don't need to be senior developers to start building on Cardano. Because if we wait to be all senior developers to start building on Cardano is over.
Well, we already letting get ourselves grow beards. So.
Adriano, thank you so much for
very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Carlo. This
No,
is
no,
super
okay.
important.
Yeah.
This is super important to understand. Super important. You can decode these links. You can decode those links, you can audit them, and you will find out that if you build on GameChanger, you are collaborating with a very viral open source ecosystem, because everything, unless you encrypt it, everything is open by default. So you can start learning by other builders. You can start calling their code and start interoperating with something that goes beyond languages, beyond SDKs, beyond platforms. Because if we interoperate just with an SDK on, I don't know, Java, or with a library of TypeScript or with WebAssembly, where there is no room for other platform and devices. But if we agree upon an interoperability layer, okay, this changes everything. And this is why everything is very open here. And you as a user, you can audit this code. It's represented with permissions. As you can see here, there are permissions for every important thing that happens on the code. You will watch it with colors. is very auditable and very transparent. Otherwise, it's a black box. We don't know exactly what is happening behind our noses. Ricardo, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just looking a little bit at the time, but I was wondering whether, Martin, are you still in the line? We sometimes do like dedicated interviews with projects, and wanted to ask you whether you would be interested in having like a one-on-one interview with us, and you could showcase the application, the hardware device that you have built. But maybe you can also introduce yourself and say a few words about you. That would be great.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm Maarten Nielen. I live in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and I'm an industrial design engineer. So I come from the hardware side, and I used to also make payment devices, like which handled coins. But yeah, of course, everything's going digital, and yeah, I got to learn about Cardano, and yeah, want to do some stuff with that. So yeah, this is what I have here. It's like a payment. You can turn any computer into a payment terminal. So yeah, this is like a display, and this is like a button for a customer. Say they want to tip you.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a web interface, so it's on the Wi-Fi. If you connect it to your Wi-Fi, you can go to a web page and you can enter a value, and this will create the QR code which you can scan with your GameChanger wallet.
Great.
I did get a glimpse of it, but what's the name of the device?
I call it a PayPal, but I don't really have a good name, maybe, but yeah.
Call it the Martin.
Martin.
The Martin. Why not? That's a brilliant name.
Yeah, I just created. Yeah, maybe you can't see it that well, but it created the QR code here. So customers can make their own QR code, and well, what this device does is makes this JSON. So this is like inside is a Raspberry Pi Zero, so it's very lightweight hardware, and of course
Wonderful.
Connects via Wi-Fi, and then you are basically triggering the transaction with the game.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's all I need to do is create the GC script, which is JSON. So it's a very easy task. So you can do it with very lightweight hardware.
Great. Okay. Would it be doable that we do an interview and we can go a bit more in detail through your journey? Would you be interested?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Great. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think with that, we move on.
Yeah.
David?
Yes, no, just a note. It's a pity that I didn't meet you, Martin, before, because I was living in Wassenaar until a few months ago and just moved back to Italy.
Oh,
it's okay. But speaking of wallets, I think that maybe you also work close to you guys of GameChanger, right? So it's a good time for him to present his solution that is very, very innovative, and is a kind of wallet running on Telegram, right, Nebillo? We want
Yes,
to tell us about
that
it?
is correct. Yes, I've been around Quasar and Adriano for a long time. I've gotten a lot of help I needed from these two. So yeah, I love Game Changers, my favorite. Yeah, I can quickly get into our Endubis wallet. So basically, I mean, I don't want to give a presentation. I think most of you have received some kind of a presentation about Endubis Wallet before. But basically, the whole idea of the wallet is, maybe Game Changers could be, for those inclined toward developers. The other ones could be more into the people that are already into the community already. But Endubis Wallet is designed for people that are absolutely new to the whole ecosystem, maybe even to the whole idea of blockchain. That is what we are trying to do. It is people that are not even in Web 2, if possible, but like generally anybody that is active in any way on Web 2 or on any mobile device that they use, any messaging apps that they use. Our goal is to onboard those people. We don't want at this point in time, we don't want it to be the go-to wallet for people that are active in the community, that are interacting with a lot of dApps, or that are using a lot of the products that are available. But for the people that are just starting off, we want to ease the transition where something simple that they could do to access a wallet, and then it will also have an educational platform to it, and then they can grow towards using any other wallets. I can quickly just, I'm sure you've seen it, but like I'll quickly, maybe if I can share a screen for a few seconds. I think somebody's sharing already, so I can't share.
Oh, who's sharing at the moment? I think it's admin. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep, we can see.
You're seeing my whole screen. Are you seeing the Telegram bots?
Yes, yes.
I don't know what's showing, but like, yeah, okay, yeah, this one's showing. So generally, so the idea of the wallets, if you've seen it, is, let me just started a new account. If anybody is a user of Telegram, then on Telegram, the accesses is just search for usernames, the same way you use for usernames or phone numbers. In this case, to get the wallet, you just search for the wallet and then add the name bot in the end, and then the wallet will be there. I'll just add for the test phase now, test wallet bot, and yeah, let me just scroll this down. Yeah, immediately once they search for it, it will show up, and then once they started, yeah, server is running a bit slow, but yeah, it should. The idea is that to access a wallet, it should be as simple as just searching for the name, and then that they would have access to the wallet. Just go to my own account. Once they create the wallet, the whole idea is that they'll be able right now to have the basic access to the wallet, which is that can view balances, receive and send ADA or tokens, and then more importantly, to buy and withdraw to local currency. That is where we are focusing on right now. We had a lot of hope with our funding applications, which wasn't successful, but we came to the realization that there are some important features that we have to do, that we have to prioritize. We had a dream of doing a lot of things in this wallet, but now we just have to cut down to the most important aspects of the wallet and work on those so that we can release to market and start onboarding the people as we have always wanted to do. I think we did make a big mistake in this application round, in which it was almost a plan A or fund application, and we did put a lot of priority on that one, when I think what we should have focused on is actually getting the funding elsewhere, or working on the product to release it to the market as whichever something that we had on hand. And that is what we're working on. We're working on the very basic fundings that we need. We're working within our own local community, because at the end, this product is, at this point, it is designed for the Ethiopian market right now. They are the ones that are going to be using it. Then, of course, we'll be expanding to other African countries that have the same issues as us, where people cannot get access to ADA. It's just not available right now. The only way to access it is through maybe central exchanges, if you can get access to those as well, and then buying the USD at an inflated price, way more than like double the market price, and then you can convert that to ADA. It's a long process for anybody to onboard anybody, and we want this. It will be the first one that we will have in this country. and we just want something simple for people to use. And that is our focus right now. That is what we're working on. We've applied for, recently we got permission for the bank to apply for a payment intermediary license, which they didn't allow for new companies before, but now they have. So we have submitted our applications. We've started discussions with banks so that we can integrate them with the wallets for the buying and the withdrawal aspect. So most of our effort right now have gone down to on ground to actual products that we will need to, that will allow us to release this product as soon as possible, and then go slowly. Most of the products plans that we had, including a better user interface, access to NFTs and the visuals, we're gonna cut down on those for now until we have a good number of people using this. Yeah, I mean, I think that is updates we have on the wallets. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm open.
Marcus.
Yeah. Sorry, wrong button. I wanted to lower the hand. How many users would you need to run? So maybe this would help.
Users,
active
run,
users. Do you have an idea already? So
no,
because you said you've been like calculating with the funding of Catalyst, and yeah, this unfortunately didn't work out this time.
Yeah.
But to give the community an idea, like obviously as many people as possible, but like would be like 100 would be good, or would be like 200 good or so that the community maybe can gather up and say, okay, let's hit that mark. What would be good for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me to onboard users right now, I know there is a lot of people waiting on me to say this product is ready to use, come use it. The community here, we have a regular bi-weekly in-person meetings here with the Cardano, with the bigger blockchain community. And I get asked every day if the wallet is ready. And that feature, that part of integrating it with banks is still not ready. So I've not been inviting people, but like, I know once I release this product, we will have a large inflow of like local users that have been waiting on this product to start using it. And once that is just the development, it costs. Like, I'm not the one entirely developing it. I just do on the Telegram side, on the front end, most of the things, trying to make the US as easy as possible. We have my friend who's thought he was here already, but like, yeah, who's also helping with the development, and then our servers, running the servers. We currently, when we started this project, we started running with the full node on our local AWS at first, and then we just decided to get our own servers. So it's running there, and yeah, those things cost money. So that is like, that's why I think there's been a delay. But like right now, our focus is with whatever little that we have left to release this product for people to start using, and then with the number of users growing, then we can get some income from the wallets in terms of transaction fees. Working on running our own SPO right now to delegate at least the people, to incentivize people to delegate the users of the wallet to delegate to our SPO. And yeah, we grow from there. That is our focus, is to release the product and then start generating income so that it can sustain itself.
The one way to support you would be delegating to your
yes, once we have
an
SPO, yes, we still don't, it's not ready. Yeah.
And the other one would be probably going onto your website and signing up on the wait list or so. For
that
those
is actually a good idea.
not...
I don't have a waiting list or the active website, but yeah, I'll because as I said, this wallet, the biggest feature, which is the buying and withdrawal, is going to be accessed through the local currency that we have here. the same way that we don't have access to, to US dollars or euros, people cannot get it here. We don't have those currencies at all. Unless you're traveling, you cannot buy dollars in this country or foreign currencies. You're only allowed to use our local currency. So the same way that happens, the same way we cannot get access to foreign currency, foreigners cannot get access to our currency as well. So right now, at this point, the buying and withdrawal features will not be available for anybody else except the local community here. Then the plan, because this thing is open source, we're discussing with teams in Kenya and another one in Nigeria. I mean, Kenya doesn't have the same issue as us, but like Nigeria does, where people don't have access to foreign currency to buy cryptocurrencies. It is to give them access to this wallet so that they can start developing it there as well. Yeah, so basically, but like the waiting list idea is good. We have a Telegram group for people to sign up or for people to just follow up on news. We used to be the Endubis group or something, but now we just named it to the Ethiopian Blockchain Network, where we invite any blockchain enthusiasts to come work with us. And on that wallet, that is where we usually make announcements when we do make announcements.
I know that Stellar Foundation, the company behind XLM, they are having funds for creating exchange pools. So that could be an option. They're searching for development teams that want to bridge, for example, ADA to XLM, and then from there they could go into the stablecoin market and cash out or something like that. Maybe that would be a link.
Yeah, I will look. I've heard of Stellar, but I've never used their products. I'll look into that one. Thank you.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
I would have a question regarding the tokens that you will support at launch. Are you planning to have, let's say, ADA only, or are you planning to have something like a stable coin like IUSD or DJET or?
Yeah. Right now, currently the wallet only supports ADA. That is one of the reasons we had delayed, was with the whole UI designs that we had developed. It was supposed to be able to support all any tokens as well as NFTs. Right now, we're just gonna cut it down to ADA, and we're leaning towards IUSD or USDT through a bridge. We haven't decided, but like we know we need a USD token in there as well. So that is that one that we're working on right now. But the idea was that we wanted to support NFTs as well, images, videos, music, which all would have been available on the wallet.
I mean,
that would be, I guess, part 2.
Being from El Salvador, where there was this Bitcoin introduction a couple of years ago, where people could have their wallet and on the mobile using Bitcoin or US dollar. I think that is a major, let's say, feature because of the fluctuation, right, in the crypto markets, that the users have an opportunity to have something which is more stable. Just my thoughts on that. I think there was a major key element in El Salvador as for let's say reaching more or bigger audiences.
Yeah, it's very true. Most people like usually try to stick with what they know. If they're used to mobile wallets, mobile apps, they try to stick with those. So it's better to provide something that they're used to. Here in Ethiopia, Telegram is huge. We use it for everything. Banks use it, airlines use it. Everybody just uses everything on the app. Like, for example, Ethiopian Airlines, like every company will have this.
I think you're missing
it's spelled. THIO. PN Airlines. That's it. People make their flight bookings on this spot. We go to the banks. People, they access their banks on their Telegram bots. Marketplaces, people do their shoppings, even though they cannot make the payments. That is what we do. So that is why I came into this I thought Telegram would have been the best product. But I mean, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, Telegram itself recently released their own wallets on Telegram, which uses the Tone network, which is also their own network. This is a new feature that they've started, which I guess is going to be my biggest competition. But yeah, but like, yeah, they have seen the potential and people have really started onboarding to the wallet very quickly.
Yeah.
In this country, because something is just easily available to them. So I want to make it, it's unfortunate because yeah, we were almost ready before they were, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, like it's whenever you come to the people, I think it's much faster to onboard more people.
It's not always the first mover advantage.
Yeah.
And it counts in the end.
True.
Cool.
Great.
I think that was great. Maurice, yeah, that was a great space. Oh, Eduardo, you have a question.
Oh, you're talking about the immigrants transfer of money from other countries to your country. Like El Salvador, one of the reasons for what's happened in the El Salvador was that the second source of income in the country came from immigrants.
Remittance.
I think it's maybe like the best way to enter in the market. It's we know that African people immigrate a lot or have a high level of immigration, and usually when the people immigrate, one of the reasons, it's not the only one of the reasons it's to help the family. You know, I go to Europe, and when I arrive and when I have a job, I will send you money. And in a certain way, this kind of connections to create a wallet that maybe the people in Europe, or for example, these guys of Europe, it's like a hypothetical scenario, maybe can understand the way they use the wallet, and after they call to the family and they install the wallet, I will help you to manage the wallet and these kind of things. And maybe it's a good way to enter in the market and to begin to step by step catch people, you know.
True.
Certain way, blockchain, it's like words by words, mouth by mouth, you know.
Yeah, I think
Yes, I completely agree. Yes, remittance is a
And,
big source of money as well here. Yeah.
And in that case, imagine that, okay, if my neighbor or my family stay in the Europe, and I can buy Cardano, and after I can send Cardano for your country, and I don't care if you can buy or not Cardano in your country. Because I received the Cardano from outside.
Yeah.
In 1 minute. In 1 minute.
And decentralized, yeah. Censorship free.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, that is, yeah, I think that is a brilliant idea. I mean, we know that we were thinking of doing remittance, but like the way that you put it makes it something that I think we need to prioritize probably so that people can start using it immediately. Yes, I completely agree with what you said.
I talking that because I listened to you to say that you want to talk with banks, and for me, I begin nervous. When you're talking certain way, blockchain, it's to kill the banks.
I think this is also where we as town hall, or let's say groups in the regions, can help each other, you know, with LATAM, with Africa, with the European town hall. I think now we're in a different market situation, difficult market situation, but going forward, I'm sure there will be a return, you know, of all this conversations, collaborations, and having so many perspectives. So thank you for joining. Also,
Thank you for having me.
Pardo, for your insights. I think we need to wrap it up. I don't know, Mauro is still there?
Yeah, no, he has a critical task to do. It's currently known in the Cardano ecosystem. He's helping a person to not go back into his country, which is very good. So he's on this one. But that was an amazing fireside chat. We had biggies, we had unknowns that aren't known. Amazing. That's why I love this format, and very casual. I hope you rejoin one day again. We're here. We have something in the works for you guys that will hopefully help you to increase exposure. We share our experience, how to build and work with communities. Whatever we do, we are here to share it. And thank you for being here. Enjoy the night, enjoy the day. Good morning, as we say in crypto. And thanks for being here. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Mara.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Thank
day.
you for coming out, Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao,
Ciao.
Ciao, Ricardo.
Ciao.
Ciao, chicos.